We're going to talk about our 5-way stand. We got a couple different ones, if it's 1.25 inch pipe or 1.5 inch. The ones for 1.5 inch are made more to use 1.5 inch pipe because it just makes your tree, it's kind of for 20-foot trees, it makes them bottom heavy. And the stands they'll hold the tree up, but your guide wire is what's the survival of your tree, because these will eventually get blown over if you don't have them secure. Even if you have a pipe concrete into the ground, you don't have a guide wire. I have pictures of it. Customer that did one 2-inch pipe, solid in the ground with concrete. And that year we had high winds, and it literally blew the pole down, or bent the pole about 4 foot from the ground. So the disadvantage of that is pretty much your Christmas is ruined, because it's kind of hard to fix that. But if, say a guide wire came loose, and then usually what happens with the wind is it finds your weakest link. So if you had a stake not in so good and the wind worked that loose, then it's going to work the next thing. But like say for the 5-way stands, we use 1.25 inch pipe. I just have a EMT conduit in here. An EMT looks just like fence posts. For the smaller stuff like our slanted rings and some of our other 10-foot trees, we use this. This will slide over right over our pole pin, and you almost zero play in it. But you could buy this stuff and then it may not slip over, but sometimes it's just one thicker wall, and that type, which you may run into every once in a while, may not slide on. Sometimes if this doesn't slide on, every piece of pipe, and these aren't as bad as say the gas pipe, they have a weld seam all the way down, and sometimes there's a little burr there from the weld, and you just have to file that down. So like I say, this just slides right over it, no problem. And here's a piece of black gas pipe, a little heavier duty. Slides on the same way. This one's going on a little bit harder. That's probably because there's a burr in there. Okay, and if you want to extend this, we have what's called our pole pin. It's another pin similar to the same thing that's coming out of the 5-way, and it'll connect the two pipes to give you 20 foot. And the reason why you don't want to couple it, 2 reasons, especially if you're using our crank up version, our hand crank and pulley head with the hook head. That'll interfere as the hook head's going up. The pole pin will make it seamless once you stick it in there. And another thing I want to talk about too is I get a lot of questions about on slanted ground, and right now it may be hard to tell in this video, but we're on a slight hill. So what you do in that case is you turn your stand where these 2 legs are pointing out, and then you're going to lean it back however far you need to lean it back, and get you a level here, and then maybe run you a 4x4 straight across underneath there. And it'll be a lot better when you're using gas pipe versus EMT, because this stuff here is a little bit more weak compared to this. But like I say, this is the best alternative to concreting in the ground. The other advantage is if once you concrete, it's there permanent. You can't move your tree if you wanted to change positions of your tree. But if you have any more questions about this stand, you can email us at christmaslightshow.com/support. Just submit a ticket and we'll get right back to you. Thanks for watching.